This compound, however, may also be destroying these cells by some inhibition of the proteasome as well. Nevertheless, the anti-inflammatory effects of BAY11782 described many years ago are likely to be due to the inhibition of the MyD88 signaling pathway. It's actually quite remarkable to me that this compound was given daily to mice in mouse models of inflammation for over a month with very beneficial effects, despite all of these sort of drastic effects that it has on cells. But of course, even the proteasome inhibitor was an unlikely target for the treatment of multiple myeloma. Okay, so that's all I've got to tell you about today. This is just a picture of our building where we're located on the top 3 floors of the complex, and all of the work was done by the first year graduate student, but also to thank Lou Stout for the cells and for our mass spectrometry and protein production teams who helped us, Natalia Shapiro, our chemist, and advice from other chemists that have helped with our studies on the DNA damaging effects from Christophe Michaud in John Rouse's lab, and Nathaniel Gray for the TAC1 inhibitor we used. Thanks very much for listening to me.
Welcome to today's XTalks webinar. Today's talk is entitled Analysis of Immune Checkpoint Control Protein Co-Expression in Breast and Ovarian Cancer Using Novel Rapid Monoclonal Antibodies and Multiplex IHC. My name is Vicky, and I will be your XTalks host for today. Today's webinar will run for approximately 60 minutes. This presentation includes a Q&A session with our speaker. This webinar is designed to be interactive, and webinars work best when you're involved, so please feel free to submit questions and comments for our speaker throughout the presentation using the questions chat box, and we will try to attend to your questions during the Q&A session. This chat box is located on the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen, and if you do require any assistance, please feel free to contact us at any time by sending a message using the chat panel. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Please note that this event will be recorded and made available for future download. At this point, I would like to thank Cell Signaling Technology, who hyped up the content for this presentation. Cell Signaling Technology is a private, family-owned company founded by scientists and dedicated to providing high-quality research tools to the biomedical research community. Their 400 employees operate worldwide from their headquarters in Danvers, Massachusetts, and their offices in the Netherlands, China, and Japan. Now I would like to introduce our speaker for today's event, Matthew R. Silver. Matthew leads the Translational Assays Group at Cell Signaling Technology, where he focuses on the development of both translational research regions and multiplex assays. Matthew received a PhD in biochemistry from the University of New Hampshire, where he studied the neuroendocrine regulation of reproduction. His subsequent postdoctoral studies were performed at Live Research with the Department of Information. And now, without further ado, I'd like to hand the mic over to Matt. You may begin when ready.
Thank you very much, Vicky, and hello, everyone. Again, my name is Matt Silver, and today my presentation is going to focus on the use of multiplexing immunohistochemistry to analyze the co-expression of immune checkpoint control protein. Starting with a quick overview of my presentation, I'm going to begin with an overview of multiplex IHC and how we're doing multiplex IHC here at CSC. I'm then going to give an update on our IHC antibodies that are relevant to immunotherapy. Then I'll finish with an example of panel development that we're working on here again. So starting with multiplex IHC, I think the rationale for multiplex IHC is fairly straightforward. It comes down to the fact that there are a lot of biomarkers and a limited amount of biopsy material. And so the benefits for multiplexing are straightforward. It is very useful to acquire multiple pieces of information per section, like multiple targets per section or per cell. This is particularly helpful when two samples are rare, which they are, or small, such as the case of a bicycle aspirin. So I think it's important to keep in mind that the tissue context is partially maintained. While it's not as good as what you get with a tried-and-true chromogenic IHC stain, it's certainly a lot better than what you'll have in an assay, multiplex assay, such as next-gen sequencing or PCR. And so spatial context within the tissue microenvironment can be a really important component of the assay, and that really important features to the multiplex. Of course, there's a number of challenges with multiplexing, including for chromosexual overlap, which can limit the degree which you can multiplex. Tissue autofluorescence can be a real challenge in terms of signal intensity. Of course, you need good antibodies that work in formalin, fixed paraffin-embedded tissues. But moreover, in addition to just having good antibodies, you need to have a multiplexing detection system that enables you to work with these antibodies simultaneously. And then pathologist acceptance is going to become a challenge in the back end as this is going to progress outside of the research, translational research stage. So despite these challenges, we're working on making multiplex IHC routine. And we feel that it comes down to the combination of the appropriate imaging platform, detection agents, and best-in-class antibodies. And specifically, the way in which these different areas address challenges, the imaging platform that you use can help with more chromosexual overlap, which is about for us. I think the best-in-class antibodies speak for itself. You need good antibodies that work in formalin, fixed paraffin-embedded tissues. And then the detection reagents help with your multiplexing with signal amplification. The solutions that we have been working with on the imaging side we're working with multispectral imaging using the on-camera over enables you to look at 6 plus fluorochromes per assay. It also helps to eliminate tissue autofluorescence. And if you're working with fewer number of targets, fewer number of fluorochromes, any local microscope does use if you're working with a 3 color space plus depth. In terms of antibodies, I think that speaks for itself. You need good, high-quality IHC antibodies, which TCSC antibodies, of course. And then on the detection reagent side, you have been working with a few different reagents, primarily with Tyramide, which allows you to multiplex with signal amplification. And it's done in a way that is independent of antibody species and types, which is a nice benefit. And we also have ongoing efforts working with modified antibodies, which we'll not be touching on today. So for this presentation, I'm going to be focusing in on the detection reagent, where it's, again, really important for enabling you to multiplex signal amplification. I think it's pretty straightforward when you're working on a 4-color assay with 3 targets plus TAPI. So, for example, if you're interested in her family protein, it's pretty straightforward to find the antibodies that you need to work together, perhaps using IgG1 and 2A and rabbit club. But you tend to run into a lot of problems once you start to move to 5 plus colors. One solution could be using additional isotypes, so finding a mouse IgG2B or 3 or a good rat or chicken or hamster antibody. And there are some good antibodies out there, but if you want to develop a broad number of panels, it's become a hurdle that gets hard to get that. So alternative approach, of course, would be used to use direct conjugate, where you're only limited by the degree to which you can multiply. However, when working in tissue sensitivity locks, yeah, when working with conjugate tends to become problematic. As an example here, looking at staining that we performed with our rabbit and EGFR antibody was secondary compared to conjugated products in a cell line H431 in red and F7 in blue. You can see that you take quite a dramatic signal intensity loss to go from your rabbit secondary down to conjugate. So the signal intensity loss can cause quite substantial problems when you're working in a tissue setting with potentially strong autofluorescence. So we have been, again, focusing on 2 different approaches for signal amplification with multiplexing. Again, Tyramide, which is a serial staining approach with a high degree of amplification, and our modified monoclonal, which allow you to do a parallel stain, and also enables a moderate secondary antibody amplification. So to give you a sense of what the actual amplification looks like, here this slide illustrates side by side of conjugate compared to a primary secondary based approach compared to Tyramide. And so in the context of a conjugated antibody, you get a signal that you are able to measure because your antibody is conjugated to a fluorochrome, 3 or 4 for antibody, which goes to your epitope. You have a certain degree of amplification to these secondary antibodies now. If your secondary antibody is conjugated, now you bring multiple secondary antibodies to primary antibodies to give you a stronger signal. Tyramide, on the other hand, is a catalyzed reporter deposition assay that takes advantage of an enzymatic reaction to deposit large numbers of fluorochrome around your actual epitope. And so Tyramide itself is a small molecule that you conjugate to a number of different things, captain fluorochrome. And then the reaction here that's catalyzed by HRT leads to a highly reactive free radical form of Tyramide that forms covalent bonds with electron-rich regions close proximity to the reaction itself, which typically would be a tyrosine residue. And so you end up coating the epitope in your antibody with fluorochrome. This enables a very, very strong signal. As an example of what that amplification looks like, in this slide from the data from our ALK antibody D5F3, staining positive cells, H0 and T2, which express the ML4 ALK translocation, T47T cells, which are negative. The standard staining approach imaging is up top, and the H0 and T2 cells are staining red, or T47T cells are not. And down below is what we see using TSA-based protocol, where you see a much stronger staining of H0 and T2 cells, while the T47T cells are still negative. The actual numbers here are shown as MSI per cell, which means fluorescence intensity per cell, are shown. H0 and T2 cells in red and T47T in blue. And so you can see the numbers here for the standard approach and strong increase in signal intensity over the TSA-based approach. It's a very minimal increase in signal comes from T47T cells. It's also important to note that the imaging times are much faster. So on the bottom you get the stronger intensity, where you get 10 milliseconds as opposed to 75 milliseconds is the standard protocol. So it enables a much stronger signal with much faster imaging time. So that is TSA and how it works in cell pellets. We've also done a lot of work translating this over into the tissue setting, validated 4-year cell antibodies, all of which have translated into actual tissue staining very nicely. So it's a very straightforward conversion going from staining cell pellets over to tissue. In terms of TSA and multiplex setting, due to the fact that the Tyramide fluorochrome conjugate is now covalently bound to your sample, you can simply introduce disruption steps to wash away your primary and secondary antibody. So we focused on microwaving, but you can use other approaches as well, active wash, where you would basically disrupt the interaction between your antibody and your sample, which you can then wash away while all of your fluorochrome is left bound to your sample. And then you can simply come in with your next antibody, secondary antibody, and now you simply use Tyramide conjugated to a different fluorochrome. So this is, for example, Lex48. Actually, now you can come in with Alexa 555 or Cy3 just to see as an example. And the species and isotype of your primary antibody no longer matters because the antibody is being first bound to your motion. And then you can repeat this sequence as many times as you need to for your experiment or as many times as your platform can. So the actual protocol is depicted on this slide here, where again it's a serial staining approach where you do your initial staining run, following a simple antigen retrieval, microwaving a pH citrate or EDTA or whatever is most appropriate for your antibody. You go through your primary and secondary antibodies and your Tyramide reaction before going into the microwaving step, and then you continue along the series, finally imaging at the very end. Each color typically does take around 3 hours with all the staining and all the incubation time. So ultimately, it is a pretty long protocol. And so automation would be an ideal solution for this. However, you can introduce overnight breaks simply by incubating your slides in a blocking buffer overnight and then pick up the next day. When optimizing the transition from the chromogenic IHC to TSA, there are a number of important steps in terms of making that transition. One that I sort of highlighted is look at the position within the staining series. So if you can imagine, if you go through multiple rounds of microwaving, that can lead to some damage within the sample itself. And so it's really important to go through to make sure you have all of your antibodies in the right position. So another point is while your fluorochrome is covalently bound to your sample, if you go through all the microwaving steps, you theoretically could chip some away each time. So on one hand, you might want to push your weaker antibodies, weaker stains later to avoid signal loss. However, at the same time, you can ultimately get isotope damage, which can counteract this. So it's important to make sure that you test each antibody, each position, to make sure you have it in the optimal spot. An example of epitope damage is shown here with some ROS1 staining in the 3-cell pellet mix, where you expect to see roughly a third of the cells stained positively. Which again, when you put the ROS in the first position, shown right here, several cells are stained expected. However, with the ROS1 antibody in the fourth position, now we have one lone cell here, which takes a while to scan through. So in this particular case, knowing exactly where to put the ROS antibody is pretty. And as a point, it's not always that you have signal loss. There's some antibodies that are stronger and go through the microwave ground, but you really need to do the experiments to figure out which antibody works best in which position. So with the imaging platforms and reagents in place, it's now time to start constructing panels. And so I think at this point we're going to take a really quick break for a fast poll question. Just to keep them set up.
Perfect, thanks for that, Matt. We did have a couple of concerns about your audio right now. It seems to be drifting in and out, so if you could just make sure that your voice is nice and loud, I'm sure the audience would appreciate that. So the third question we do have for the audience right now is, are you currently performing multiplex IHC? And please select one of the following answers. So the answers we have here are yes, 3 colors plus nuclear counter stain, yes, 4 to 5 colors plus nuclear counter stain, yes, more than 5 colors plus nuclear counter stain, and no, only 2 that haven't started, and the last answer would be no. So if the audience would please get their answers in right away, that would be greatly appreciated. I will be closing this poll shortly.
Candidates in breast cancer like ER, PR, and HER2, lots of her family members, etc. So for today's presentation, I'm actually going to be focusing in on immunotherapy, and there's a lot of interesting areas you could look at around tumor infiltration, checkpoint expression, and self-characterization. Today, I'm going to be again focusing in on checkpoint control. So just really briefly, by way of a quick introduction, first the concept here is focused on empowering your immune system to fight cancer. And this, of course, is a very hot field. It's really exploding with the success of CTLA-4 and recently PD-1 in the clinic. Leading up to these successes, for a long time, the field has been struggling with the question of why doesn't your immune system take care of problems with the tumor itself? So obviously part of the issue is that the tumor is self-derived. However, there are a lot of changes that can involve a number of neoantigens that the immune system should be able to home in on. In the end, it comes down to the concept of immunoediting, which consists of 3 phases: elimination, equilibrium, and escape. And so in the beginning, the immune system can challenge the tumor in order to eradicate it. However, when this isn't perfectly successful, the tumor and the immune system find themselves in a balance, which is the equilibrium phase. But the tumor is under constant pressure from the immune system, which drives selection of immune-resistant clones, which in time take over. This leads to the escape phase, where tumors can propagate even in the context of infected. So the hunt has been on to figure out ways to assist the immune system, and make a long story short, in areas that still sort of quickly focus in on the manipulation of immune checkpoint control proteins, amongst other approaches, vaccination and T-cell engineering. And so typically immune checkpoints help maintain self-tolerance and protect tissues during the immune response. But it's the dysregulation of the checkpoint protein that is needed to resist it. And so there are a number of different checkpoints, many of which are highlighted on this slide, and this is a figure from Hugh Carl's review from a couple of years ago, where we have a T-cell on the bottom, and antigen-presenting cells depicted up top. And here, right in the middle, we have the TCR, which will activate the T-cell in the context of stimulatory signal from CD19. Everything else in this slide functions to fine-tune this response. Everything else in the slide is an immune checkpoint control protein, and all these targets are potential therapeutic targets of interest. And so we have, despite the fact that these targets have been around for a very long time, we noticed a gap in the field, which is today that there's a lack of high-quality, commercially available IHC antibodies for these cancer therapy targets. And so we developed the objective to generate a comprehensive pipeline of antibodies, rather monoclonal antibodies that are IHC-driven projects, strong focus on collaboration. And so as we're going through all of these targets, we decided to initially prioritize PD-L1, it's a very hot target for this, where IHC is the primary development objective, looking at human reactivity. And so while this presentation doesn't focus on antibody validation, I just wanted to make a couple of quick comments about the general ways in which we're validating antibodies, which is that we rely on Western blot screening to find positives and negative lysates before moving into IHC testing, where we start with cell pellets, often find positive and negative cell pellets, before taking a step into actual tissue testing. So in the case of PD-L1, started with a lot of Western blot work looking at Corpus P99 cells, P72, which is the first PD-L1, as well as PC3 cells. And we also take advantage of transfection systems for cross-reactivity testing. Case here, looking at COD7 cells, non-transfected or transfected with human PD-L1, PDL2 or other family numbers B7H3 and B7H4, and then the Western is run using our PDL1 clone B1L3N, along with Actin and MICTAG. See that our clone binds PDL1 very nicely, but has no interaction with related family members to show that it's specifically binding PDL1. Moving down the line, we have to take advantage of cell pellets. So here, using similar cell models, Carpus 299 and PC3, and do a nice staining in Carpus 299 cells. And this gives us confidence in the fact that our antibody can perform in the IHC setting before making the move into tissue. Where initially we have been taking advantage of human placenta, which is a nice control for PDL1, where we see staining in the tissue of trophoblast of the placenta, but not internally within the stroma or the villi as expected. And we also do cancer tissue staining. One example shown here, looking at lung cancer, releasing nice strong staining in the center here. So we take advantage again of cell pellets as well as normal and cancer tissue variants of the work. And then through the literature, we also get nice post-release validation. This example here illustrating PDL1 clone E1L3N is able to bind PDL1 in the tumor, shown up here in panel A. But it's also able to bind immune cells in the stroma as well as alveolar macrophages, shown down here in C. And then a negative is shown on the bottom right D. So moving forward, we released the PDL1 clone E1L3N about a year and a half ago. We're preparing to release a follow-up set of PDL1 IHC antibodies. Some example data shown here. We have a rather monoclonal E1JTJ that binds PDL1 in the extracellular domain. And we're gearing up to release a mouse anti-human PDL1 antibody that binds PDL1 in the extracellular domain. And some example data shown here for both, again, for staining in the placenta, and then the use of cancer samples, human colon up top for E1JTJ, and human lung cancer shown here for the mouse monoclonal. And to round out this family, we're also preparing to release a mouse monoclonal for PD1 called EH33, as well as a rabbit monoclonal that we're developed for PDL2, which is called B7UHC, and will be commercially available later this month. And then finally, to round out the portfolio for now, we recently released clones to B7H3 and B7H4, and very recently released our Visa antibody clone B1LTJ. We're gearing up to release an IDO IHC antibody as well as TIM3, and we've also released CD40 ligand. So with all these antibodies in our hands at this point, it creates an opportunity, of course, to start putting them together in multiplex cells. And so in addition to making them available, we've also started working on protocol development for a multiplex setting. And so I'm going to show an example looking at immune checkpoint control of co-expression. Here focusing on PDL1, B7H4, and VISTA, free immune checkpoint control protein, along with CD8, which is a marker of effector T cells, and keratin, which is a tumor marker. So the antibodies that we're using are our clones PDL1, D1L3N, 7H4 clone D1M8I, our VISTA clone D1L2J. For CD8, we're using clone CD8/144B, which is a mouse monoclonal, and then also pan-keratin, which is a mouse monoclonal as well. So again, using the teramide-based approach, the species and isotypes of all these antibodies no longer matters. So from here, I'm going to show some optimization of how we put these panels together, and then I will show some example data from when we screened a small cohort of breast and ovarian cancer patients in. So the actual workflow in developing these panels is depicted on the top, where it all begins with IHC antibody development. From there, we retitrate antibodies using the teramide detection system before moving into order optimization experiments. From here, we then do a mix and match experiment with an antibody fluorochrome pairing, to ensure we are pairing the right antibodies with the right fluorochrome. It's actually a really important step because it enables you to control the signal intensity of the antibodies in your panel, because you can produce stronger antibodies with the weaker fluorochrome, weaker antibodies with stronger fluorochrome. We then move to control cell pellets and before moving to tissue. So using PDL1 as an example, this is the optimization experiment shown here, where we have our PDL1 clone E1L3N titrated on Carpus 299 cells at PC3, using the antibody at 1 to 200, titrating down to 1 to 15,000. And we were using this antibody for the experiments here at 1 to 1,400, which gave us an optimal balance of signal to noise. So here we're looking at the immune fluorescence intensity per cell that we're getting again using Carpus 299, which is blue, and PC3 is in red, looking at how PDL1 performs in different positions in staining series. First position versus second versus third versus fourth versus fifth. And you can see in the case of PDL1, we actually have an increasing signal intensity as we go deeper into the staining series. And the green line here is what tells the signal to noise for each step. And then finally coming to the fluorochrome comparison, here we have PDL1 in context of Lexus 350.